If you want to eat fresh food straight from the garden all fall, then you need to plant these crops right now before it's too late. Today we're going to talk about these 5 crops that can handle the cold weather better than Elsa and are going to reward you with an amazing harvest at the end of the year. So let's go. We're going to start with everyone's favorite, garlic. Now there's 2 types of garlic. You have hardneck and softneck. If you are in a colder climate, zones 3 through 7, where we're at in Nebraska, it's zone 5, I like to grow hardneck garlic. And this has to be planted in the fall. You can grow softneck, but you need to grow that in the springtime. Softneck is going to give you more cloves, smaller bulbs. It's not going to have as bold or complex of a flavor as hardneck garlic. And the other thing about the 2 is that hardneck garlic doesn't have as long of a shelf life. It only lasts about 3 to 6 months, where softneck lasts longer, about 6 to 9 months. But like I said, in colder climates, this is going to do a lot better because the cold actually brings out more flavor, but this has to be started in the fall. Planting is really simple. You're just going to pull apart these cloves off of your garlic, dig a trench about 2 inches deep, and then you want pointy side up. Try to be really gentle with these as you peel them off. You don't want the skin to come off. That skin is a protective barrier and it's going to keep that thing from rotting. So pointy side up, about 2 inches deep. That's not really 2 inches. Let's go like this. About 2 inches. Cover it up. I throw in some straw mulch to keep a little bit of temperature control there. It also keeps weeds down in the spring. And that's pretty much it. You can set it and forget it once you put the mulch over top. Leave it until next spring. The best time to plant garlic is going to be right around your first frost. You want to get it in about 4 to 6 weeks before the ground entirely freezes over. So for us here in Nebraska, zone 5, that's about in the middle of October towards just the beginning of November. What that's going to do by getting it in ahead of the cold, ahead of the ground freezing, is it starts the vernalization process, and that's what actually splits this garlic into different cloves. So it has to go through a freeze-thaw cycle in order to do that. What it'll do by planting it in the fall is it's going to start establishing roots before it goes dormant in the wintertime, and it will spring to life in the spring. If you plant it too early, like in September, your tops are not going to sprout, which isn't good. And if you go too late into late November, the ground's frozen and the roots aren't going to get established. So you want to make sure that the air is cool, but the ground's not frozen solid. Next up, we have Popeye's source of his superpowers. But the superpower wasn't spinach, it was actually the timing of when he planted his spinach. Spinach loves cooler temperatures, and in fact, your leaves are going to taste better as well. There's a lot more flavor. It doesn't get quite as bitter in the heat. You can direct plant them, but the problem with that is that the soil needs to be about 75 degrees, and sometimes even in August around here, the soil's way hotter than that. So I do like to start them like this, plus I get perfect placement. I've got mice though that are eating my leaves, so that's not good. We got to get the mice taken care of. But once these things sprout, you can start harvesting baby spinach leaves in just a few weeks. I like to plant these starting in around mid-August. You want it to go about 8 weeks before your first frost. For us, that's October 12th, so mid-August. And if you mulch them really well, you can actually, they'll actually overwinter. And so you could get a head start in the spring if they're mulched and it's not a crazy winter. You could get a good crop next spring. If you're planting in the fall, you want to go with a cold hardy variety. Something like Bloomsdale or Giant's Winter are good varieties for this time of year. What you're going to do if you're direct seeding is make a trench about 1/2 inch deep, and you're going to have your trenches 1 foot to 1.5 feet apart, and plant to seed every 4 to 6 inches. Now this time of year, we're in August, we can still get pretty hot. There's some hot days, and when it's hot, your spinach plant can actually bolt. And if it bolts, then it's pretty much done. It's gone reproductive. We don't want that to happen. So in order to not stress this plant out, we're going to keep it evenly moist, consistently water this, and in just a few weeks, we should have plenty of spinach to harvest. Next up, we've got one of my favorite things to grow in the garden because I love eating them. It's like one of my favorite things to just pull up and snack on while I'm working, and that is carrots. The #1 problem people have growing carrots is that they are too thick. You've got to get these things thinned out, otherwise the roots don't have the space that they need. And the reason that that's so difficult is because these seeds are so tiny. Now, there's 2 ways that I found that really help. Mix this with sand. If you put in your seeds with a little bit of sand, it allows you to spread them out a lot easier. The second thing is using seed tape. There's ones that are already spread out. If you buy the seed tape, that way you've got perfect spacing in between your seeds. But those can be really expensive. So I actually have a video that's coming out hopefully soon on how to make your own seed tape with carrots. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys, but if you're gonna be planting them, make sure that they are not planted too tight. And if you do get them planted too tight, that's all right. Make sure you go in afterwards and thin them out so that there's about 4 inches of space in between each one. We just finished harvesting a bunch of carrots and they didn't get as big as I was hoping, but we got them in really late and it was really hot. And the thing about carrots is that they love cold. Cold triggers a sugar response in the carrots, and that's why they're a lot sweeter after a frost. When the temperatures drop, carrots go into survival mode. To avoid their cells freezing, they convert starches into sugar, mostly glucose and fructose. And those sugars act like a natural antifreeze, which lowers the freezing point of the carrot's cells. More sugar equals better flavor, and that's exactly why I love to plant carrots in the fall. The last thing I'll say about carrots is that storing them is a little difficult. Now, I like to store mine in boxes of dirt, boxes of sand, but you can actually leave them in the ground. You don't have to harvest them after that first frost. You can leave them in there, they'll overwinter, or you can just dig through the snow depending on where you're at and pluck them out as you need them. Next up, we've got a crop that normally you wouldn't think of as being something you plant in the fall, but it totally is: cucumbers. No, cucumbers are not a cold weather plant at all. The tissue is really soft, and even a light freeze, if it sniffs a little bit of frost, it's gonna kill the plant. But you know what else kills the plant is when it goes reproductive, it sets fruit, and it's mature. Now, I don't know if you guys are really good at picking your fruit every single day. I don't. I get a lot of these that get way too big, and I often end up with cucumber plants that stop producing. So it's a really good idea to succession plant your cucumbers. And here's the thing. These cucumbers, let me show you right here, days to maturity is 70 days. So if I get these planted at the beginning of August, I can be harvesting these well into October. And that way I've got fresh cucumbers growing all year long. The other thing is, you can see here I'm dealing with some pollination issues. A lot of times the heat will stress out pollinators like bees. There's a heat stress. And so your pollination is gonna be a lot better in the fall time, and you end up dealing with a lot less disease and bug pressure. There's not as many aphids, not as many squash beetles in the fall, so your fruit usually ends up looking a lot better the later into the year you go. Last but not least, we've got onion. Planting onions in the fall gives you a huge advantage next spring. By planting them this fall, they can establish roots before they go dormant in the wintertime, and then in the spring, instead of focusing on root establishment, they can focus on growing big bulbs. Bigger bulbs, better flavor. But if you plant them in the springtime, you'd have less days to grow, so you end up with smaller bulbs. So planting them in the fall is a really good idea. You can plant these bulbs known as onion sets, or you can do bunching onions. If you're in the south, you're gonna use a short day variety, and if you're in the north, you're gonna use a long day variety. Certain varieties like Walla Wallas overwinter really well. They can handle cold climates, so Walla Wallas work great if you're in the north. And when you plant them, you want them just barely in the soil. You want the roots to be covered up so that they're protected from the frost, but the bulb to be higher up. And then you can mulch over the top of that to improve your chances of them coming back next spring as well. But that's just 5 things that you can grow in your garden. I'd love to hear from you what you have growing on this fall. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.